Welcome back. This is the second to last week. We have one more week and then the quarter ends. So, all right. So, very good week this week. I mean, we had a 2.2% return. SPY and those had around negative 2.2. So, it was kind of inverse this week for us. Um, and I mean, we're finally outperforming everything. So, that's very good. Around 3.88% SPY. So, our highest margin yet. And the rest were also outperforming. Uh, so last week we actually did do better last week. However, this is mostly just on the last day gains. This week it was a little bit more volatile. We had Monday, Tuesday was fine, and we had Wednesday, which had a little bit more volatility, recovered on Thursday, and then Friday lost a little. Over here we have Nasdaq. You can see Nasdaq has basically lost its gains all the way from around this era, so around beginning of July. So it's kind of lost around a month of gains, just really in one day. Um, so I mean, you can see how ready it is to fall. I mean, we next week if we could see a negative 4% week possibly, meaning that it could be down all the way to here, right? So or it could go back up. So it's kind of just right now this last week that I have is kind of the more volatile one. Over here, we did outperform 4 out of the 5 days. And you can see almost exactly the opposite. And then 58% total. So that's very high. Almost double the original. And SPY is also following, not as much, negative 215. And we actually passed 60.5% of days. So that's very good. First time in a quarter that's ever been done. Overall, I think it's around 53, 54. So pretty good, and we're close to double on SPY. Um, Over here, Dow is the worst at the moment. Interestingly, it's just kind of just fallen really 3% this week, 60% of days, and we're around 58. So they're all kind of very high in the almost 60 range. And Dow is only at 2.3%. And here you have everything. So, and then over here we did increase it again this week, so 0.22% is very high. 0.04 increase from last week. Our goal is 0.17, so that's pretty good. And this is after the transaction costs. So over here you got Monday, Tuesday. Monday was very good. Tuesday was fine. Didn't do much. And then you had Wednesday. Wednesday I started a short, and then my short finally got some gains on Thursday. If I would have held this short throughout longer time, I would have gained more, but it was fine. And then over here on this day, I was only holding 60% SPY, and then I started a short. I closed it neutral, and then I wanted to see if I can do another trade, like if the account would allow me. So I started one, and it did allow me. So then what I decided to do was I just decided to go mostly in all on, or not all in, but the 40% on the trade. And then that kind of decreased a bit more throughout the day. But, we would have been around negative one. I think we ended negative 1.414, so it's fine. And, we were still performing QQ and SPY, so that's been good. So the profit roll, this is slightly increasing, 3 out of 5 days this week, so that's fine. And then we're exactly at 50%. So this is taking into account, it only takes into account the positive trades, but the neutral trades are used to calculate this number. So it's done basically the ones I make money on divided by the total of everything. So our mean gain did increase, however, our losses also decreased more. We still did have a better ratio from last week. The difference was better. I mean, we also increased our standard deviation. SPY's gains were the same. The losses did slightly increase, and the standard deviation also increased. So in the end, our ratios, our difference are better from last week. And our losses, we want to. The idea is to decrease this to negative one, and then increase to 1.74. Or that. This is pretty unlikely for the last week. I doubt it, but I mean, if we're outperforming and we have alpha, and then that's the most important thing. This is like second after that. And over here you have the difference, so you can see what I meant. The difference is better. The standard deviation is slightly higher though. So over here you got the main transaction. So I've been doing more transactions than trades this last week, so this did increase. Similar with the day trade number, that also increased. And then you got their beta. So the beta is actually finally, or it's positive. That's interesting. 0.18 right now. Our goal is to be around zero, so it's fine. I mean, the goal is to have alpha, and then if this is zero, well, great. And our alpha did increase even after higher beta, so that's good. Over here, you have, oh yeah, so the end, 8.3%, and we were around 10% the beginning of the week. I mean, the margin we were outperforming then is lower than what it is now because it did drop SPY on Friday. So, theoretically, right now we're at better, we're outperforming at a greater amount. We got one more week after that. It's gonna be real busy because I gotta fly back and then I gotta start college and then, yeah, basically those two things. My idea would be to make the weekly video. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to make the weekly video next week. I will. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to make I'm gonna have to make the quarterly video and then the total, since inception video. So that's two more videos, and then I also want to publish the thing, if there's significant results, which I'm still waiting for the data. I want to publish that, and also have to move in. So realistically, the next quarter might start in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not sure. Um, I kind of want to start it before or after I publish. So if I get more people from that, that's the idea. Um, but yeah, and then we'll do one. We'll in September, end of September, will be 1 full year that I've done this. So that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't think. I think it'll probably be around. I'll probably get the two videos done. The next week after this one, and then I'll probably do like a 2 week thing, and then I'll start. So yeah, if you want to join, just email me and let me know. And yeah, all right. Thank you. Bye.